Hi, Chef Allison here in the Last Bite Kitchen. Today's quick bite conversation is about garnishing. Now, you might think of garnishing as just an aesthetic, just a decoration, but I wanted to explain how I choose the garnishes that I do and why I choose the garnishes that I do, and show you how it's not just a visual, but it actually adds to the flavor and kicks up the dish altogether. So there's a few main categories of garnishes, and number one I would say is nuts. And I also have some shaved coconut that I toasted. Obviously this adds a meaty, satisfying flavor, and it adds a crunch. You should always toast these before you use them. Second category, which people in America often overlook, but in other cuisines people use all the time: herbs. In every dish you make, you should throw a handful of herbs. Not only does it provide visually appealing shapes, but it also kicks up the flavor when you bite into it, and it makes it interesting because some spoonfuls might have different combination of these flavors. So in this particular tray, I have mint, cilantro, dill. I also have the top of a fennel bulb. So fennel fronds are a great way not only to add a little boost of flavor, but also to use the whole vegetable. So next, we have nuts and seeds, and then I would say oils. So in a previous video I mentioned an olive oil. You can also buy like a pumpkin seed oil, walnut oil. Any oil that's extracted from a nut will add an added element of that savory, nutty flavor. And if you drizzle that on top, then you'll get all that flavor as well. And you can also infuse different oils too. If you're interested in that, let me know and I can teach you how to do that. Then last, maybe I guess there's two more categories. I would say citrus is one. Now you can just use a squeeze of fresh lime juice or lemon juice or orange juice. But even more important than that is the zest, because it has the punch of the oil of the citrus and not just the juice. So this is such a handy tool, not really expensive. It's a great one to have in your arsenal. So I would just, put a little orange zest like that on top of any dish, and it adds a lot of great flavor. And of course there's different salts. Like this is a sea salt by a company named Malden. That's a finishing salt. So you'd put it on top so that you get that crunch and that little bite of salt here and there. Very exciting, and again, it's a great garnishing element. Hot pepper slices would be a great garnish. So this is a Fresno pepper, and I just sliced it like paper thin, putting that around a salad or around any dish. So it's sort of a surprise. A little bit of hide and seek element is a great way to garnish something. Edible flowers. So most flowers are edible if they're not treated by pesticides. There are a few that aren't, but in particular marigolds are totally edible, and you just pull off these little petals. It adds a great visual appeal, but again, also flavor. Wonderful. And one of my favorites I'll end with before I do a quick demo is radishes. Now, these days in almost any market you can find radishes. These little cherry bells are easy to find without greens in a little bag. An added bonus is to buy it with the green, and then you can eat the green as well, either sauteed or just cut very chiffonade and put it on top of a different dish. Again, add to your garnish, use the whole plant. But then there's all these other kind of radishes that have become popular now, like this watermelon radish. The inside looks like this, just spectacular. Or black radish. So the skin is black and the inside is just bright white. It's a beautiful crunch. And so sometimes what I like to do is use a couple different kinds in a dish and add some in rounds, in coins, and then also make little julienne strips and put those through a salad. So just want to end this quick demo by showing you what I would do. For example, I'm going to start with what is for me the most basic element. How would I garnish just a plain bowl of rice? Now I'm going to encourage you to to try this at home. Start with something plain. You were just going to eat it, you know, a pat of butter on here or some soy sauce would be great, right? But if you want to play around and start to see how all of these elements come together and become something greater than the sum of their parts, go ahead and experiment. So I didn't mention it before, but I'll go ahead and say pomegranate arils, the seeds inside a pomegranate, you can actually buy them already cleaned out of the pomegranate, but you don't need to. It's fairly simple once you get the hang of it. So I'm going to put some pomegranates on there. I'm going to pull a little bit of leaf, mint leaf, and I'm just going to tear the leaves up a little bit. A little bit of dill I'm going to add. Now, tahini is a wonderful element, something I didn't mention before. It's related. Obviously, it's a paste made out of sesame seeds. So a great garnish is just a drizzle of luxurious tahini. And then to echo the notes of the pomegranate seeds that are tart and that pop and crunch when you bite them, I'm just going to also put a drizzle of pomegranate syrup. This is a molasses made of pomegranate juice, just reduced until it is thick enough to drizzle. Then I'm just going to top it with both some of these pumpkin seeds, some coconut that I toasted, and a little bit of orange zest. Now, why did I choose these flavors? I know that they go well together, but I'm also looking for interest in the bowl. So I'm looking for that spoonful where you get a little bit of a crunch, a little bit of a snap, something smooth, to play with your tongue and your mouth. And that's what the food is about. When you take the time to kind of add these artistic elements to it, it's not just about the visual, but it's also about the art of the flavor. So if you have any questions or ideas, send me an email, Allison@lastbitechef.com.